What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and we're on to part 2 of all of these amazing 7-star awakenings that we got, guys. We got a lot of good ones in this batch. I hope you guys ended up smacking one of yours so you can have fun in the 7-star meta if you haven't had a chance. But now we're moving on to one of the other global exclusive units besides Barb, and that is Zargabaath. And Zargabaath went from Zargabaath to Zargabaath after the enhancements to him to Zargagod. Like, he is excellent unit, excellent. Anyway, let's look at his STMR here. Judge Zoth, this is the only thing bad about a 7-star in my opinion. Not the worst STMR, but again, kind of poopy. Increase HP, defense, and spirit by 30%. This is on a materia. That's actually really strong. Increase resistance to all elements 20%. Now, I'm not saying that it's not good or it's not strong or applicable. I'm just saying it's kind of lackluster. You know what I mean? Who gets excited about that? It's just, I don't know. Not me. I'm just saying. Good, very good for a tank, though. Very good. Especially good for a magic tank. I mean, you get that HP and defense and spirit 30% and some elemental resist. That's what I'm talking about. But other than that, a little bit lackluster. Let's talk about what happens to Zargabaath at 7-star. Prismatic Barrier, available turn 1, 3 during cooldown. Increase resist to all elements 60%. Oh man, all elements 60%, and I've already seen 2 more lines. Hey, get excited. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit break resist by 100% for 3 turns. Excellent. So you're covering your elemental problems. You're also covering your break problems on your stats, and then you also enable access for 2 turns to quickening. Quickening allows you to cast certain abilities from Zargabaath multiple times in a turn, similar to a lot of the other ways the other supports work, which is gonna be broken with Zargabaath. Arcadian Crest, increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 150% for 5 turns to 1 ally. So you can just buff the hell out of 1 unit and remove all the status breaks from 1 ally. So this is essentially a single target. I'm gonna buff you up. It's really strong. However, I don't know. It's rough when we have people who can AoE buff 150%. The remove of this is pretty good, but then we also, I wish that was a little AoE action, but they can't make him too great. This is something a lot of people are asking why he has. Vengeance Blade, physical damage 6 times to 1 enemy, also chains with Octaslash. Essentially, I think it's just giving Zargabaath a way to help you chain up, maybe in 10-mans. Give Zargabaath another angle, right? We're not really, I mean, Zargabaath, we kind of build up to be tanky and a little bit of damage dealy too, with the way his kit is built up, with all the passives. We want to be dual wielding with him anyway to get all his passives on him, so he misses out on his shield most of the time. But it gives him a way to maybe, hey, I need to chain. You know, maybe he could be your chainer, and then you have a finisher as well, as long as you're using Octaslash. Just a thought. Not the best thing in the world, but it's still a thing that adds to his power. Arcadia's Might, available on turn 1. It's a 6-turn cooldown. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit 140% for all allies. Mitigate damage taken 40% for 3 turns. 40! To all allies. Enables access 3 turns to quickening. So Prismatic Barrier is 2 turns. Arcadia's Might is 3 turns. Moving on down, let's look at what 7-star passives he gets. If we put his TMR on him, which we look up, it's Judge's Helm, I do believe, which is a very, very good helmet. It's very strong when it comes to all the element resist and things like that. Increased defense, spirit, and HP, MP 20%. This guy is so stinking tanky. Increased resist to stop 100%. Nice! Just don't charm him. Upgrades LB. Dual sword stance, again, like I'm talking about, we got to put the dual wield on him to make him be able to unlock everything. Also, we want fire and light element. We want to have like a sword, a great sword, or katana. If we put one of the, you know, as long as we mix and match, we're getting 15% to attack, defense, and spirit, which is great for him. Increase MP 20%, need that MP for all this casting. Unwavering loyalty. HP 20%, increase LB gauge fill rate by 50%. And increase physical evasion 20%. This guy can evade like insane. He's got another 20% here. Like, it's like, what in the world? You can build this guy, like, I'm telling you, man, if you have Nickel, he could be your physical evade tank with Nickel, on top of the fact that he can also be your baller ass support. It's good. There's a reason why they put that on there. I feel like that's exactly for that. That's just the way I feel. Activated by Prismatic Barrier or Arcadia's Light. Quickening. You can use any of these abilities 2 times in 1 turn. And as you guys know, I'm not going back over Zargabaath, his enhancements, his 6-star. After his enhancements, he became fucking broken. Now being able to cast all these turns, all these abilities in twice a turn, puts him on a new level. Obviously, you guys know that. Plus both those abilities, Prismatic Barrier and Arcadia's Might, are excellent choices there. Moving on down, let's look at this limit burst they keep wanting us to look at. Alexander Crest, physical damage, Big Daddy physical damage. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 150% for all allies. It's 40 though. Mitigate damage taken 50% for 2 turns to all allies. Holy hell, dude. This is good. So, honestly, Zargabaath is going to be rivalry. Okay, so, like, there are certain things Zargabaath can't do. Obviously, but there are certain things that he can do. He excels so well at those. This guy is a great support. He's a great support in the 7-star meta. He can also be a tank for you, which is ridiculous. He can chain for you right now if you're doing the Octaslash chaining. Honestly, he had great 7-star enhancements. So him and Barb, I think, are very good. Two very good 7-star global exclusives only. If you were using Zargabaath before, you're definitely going to be using him now. And if you weren't using him before, you didn't have a CG Nickel already up, you didn't have some kind of support, you missed out on Ignis this time around, Zargabaath is going to go beyond plus ultra and really take care of your support needs. Next up is our drill using Aileen. She got left behind in the meta, a fan favorite unit at that. Getting her 7-star buff up. She's going to be support physical attacker as it shows there, and that's actually going to stay true a little bit with her 7-star awakening. Looking at her scanning goggles, okay, it's a hat. Okay, this DMR is broken as hell. It is a hat, attack 52 headpiece, attack 52, allowing you to also get plant killer, stone killer, bug killer, machine killer. If that's not enough for you guys to 7-star Aileen, if you have 4 of her, I don't know what would be. That is a broken ass hat. Dude, I love it. I'm going to be getting it immediately. After this video, guess what? I'm getting it. I'm going to slap it on my physical damage dealers. Let's go, baby. But let's look at what makes Aileen a 7-star unit, what she does. Schematic Rainbow, excuse me. Available in turn 1, every 3 turns you can cast it. Increase limit burst gauge, 12 to 14 to all allies. Now, this is very useful, obviously. 12 to 14, sometimes people can even use their LBs at that point, or it's about halfway done. The other LB booster we had was Nyx at this point at 7-star, but he can pretty much fill almost everybody up. I think he does 30, I think, something around there, LB Crystal, so that's pretty much everybody in the game, but he kills himself for it. So this is a way you don't have to murder yourself to be able to start filling it up and keep doing it like that. Custom Power, use own LB gauge to fill allies gauge. Increase attack 150% for 3 turns to 1 ally, except for caster. So you can't cast that on yourself. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be filling somebody else's gauge up, along with giving them 150% attack. Pretty good. Custom magic. It's going to be essentially the same thing, but for magic damage dealers. So what they did with Aileen, strangely enough, is they've given her more of a support role. This is going to be useful for people who really want to get their LBs up. This looks like what she's specializing in right now. It sadly not damage dealing, or staying up with the... we haven't gone through all her abilities, but it looks like they wanted to turn her more into a supportish unit, which I guess is fine. But in which case, kind of disappoints. I know a lot of people who really just wanted to be smacking people with drills with Aileen. But let's not give up yet. Let's look. TMR required. Increase equipment attack 100% when single wielding any weapon. So she has true double hand 100%. Increase modifier to pile driver by 1.2. I think this is our main damage dealing ability, right? I haven't used her in so long. Yes, that's our main damage dealing ability. However, again, it's just, that's not strong enough. Especially if you don't have some kind of W cast, some kind of triple cast, something, you know, to keep up with this. I mean, she's not going to be a damage dealer for you guys anymore, in my opinion. Then she also increases her LB fill rate by 50%, increase spirit by 20%, increase attack 50%, enables dual wielding of one-handed weapons. So she gets dual wield, increase equipment attack 30% when dual wielding. So you can either go down the true double hand route, or you could go down the dual wielding route, whichever way you want to. It depends on what you want to do. You're not going to have a materia slot for dual wielding with her anymore. But again, she's just not going to keep up. And obviously, future units are going to be stronger as a damage dealer. So I think you're more using her for that LB fill rate. And even then, I just don't see it as being too crazy. She can have the LB fill rate and be the damage dealer, I guess you kind of want her to be. But she's not going to be doing that much damage. Moving on to her LB, it's just a big daddy damage dealing hit. 4-turn hit, physical damage goes up to a 10.25 times modifier with ignore defense 50%. Nothing too crazy there. So overall, I honestly feel like they did Aileen dirty. Maybe people can correct me in the comments. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Besides your STMR, which is fucking bonkers, they're really just not the greatest unit. LB fill rate seems like where she wants to be. Next up, we have Tech Maki's favorite monk, Prishe, and she goes up to 7-star. Guys, she's going to be someone I go through real quick. I do not think she really packs the punch she really wanted to have. Let's look at her STMR here in God's hands. It is a fist weapon, 171 attack. Holy moly, that is a high attack stat fist weapon. If somebody can put a fist weapon, you're dual wielding possibly, that's going to be great for you. Looking at the ability it gives, physical damage 3 times, ignore defense 50%, 6 times. Decrease fire, water, wind, and earth resist by 50%, and inflict disease 100% to enemy. So it's an okay ability. I don't think it's by any means broken, but it does give you that imperil of all abilities. But at this point, a lot of people are imperiling on their own, and I think you're pretty much using God's hands for the massive 171 fist weapon stat there, so that's why that would be good. Moving along, let's look at Prishe's 7-star abilities. She has Knuckle Sandwich. Physical damage 5.2 times to all enemies. Inflict blind, confuse, and disease 100% to all enemies. So, it's 100% guaranteed blind, confuse, or disease on a boss that maybe that can happen to. Could save your ass, I guess. Nothing too special there, though. Let's see. Auroral Uppercut. 4 turn cooldown because it counts as 1 turn. Available, you have to wait till turn 5, and this is the problem. Light physical damage 10 times. My God. With a North hits 50%, that's a 20 times multiplier. 7-hit chain. It seems awesome, but you gotta wait till turn 5. And is Prishe really worth keeping around for those 5 turns doing absolutely really nothing else? And I know people out there like Prishe are gonna be like, whoa, Claic, she has all these things. You build them up and you cut them down. You build them up and you knock them down, but it really isn't that much damage. She hasn't been a meta unit, and she's not changing into one because of her 7-star. I want to say I have Atlanta. I don't know why my eyes immediately read this as Atlanta. I have Altana. 4 turn cooldown, available turn 1. Decrease attack and defense 60% to all enemies, and increase attack and defense 100% for all allies. This is like a good ability. This right here is she's got an on-demand attack and defense break. On turn 1 on demand, I guess I should say. Attack and defense break for 3 turns. You're gonna have to wait 1 more turn without being able to cast it, and then everybody on our team's attack and defense are going up. So that's a good support thing she can use. However, I don't really think that's good enough, because you're going to be casting that turn 1, let's say. Then you have to try to use her other abilities and, bob and weave, and then use this big. I mean, this is strong, but then you can't use it again for 4 more turns after you use it. You had to wait 5 turns, and you have to wait 4 more turns, and you have to wait 4 more turns. Not for me, man. If you put TMR on her, she's going to get some modifiers up on all these different abilities. 1 point times, getting increased attack 40%, upgrades LB, we'll look into that. Keeper of the Apocalypse, increased dark resist 50%, petrify resist, increase equipment attack 100% when single wielding any weapon, so that's going to be true double hand. And then she's also going to get 30% dual wielding. Again, this just isn't enough for Prishe, for me. Maybe for you guys. You guys love Prishe. Prishe has just never been a unit that I've been like, yeah, let's do it. It's just, she has too much going against her, in my opinion. Moving on down, let's take a look at the, she does have some supporty roles, though. She has some support to her. That break also adds some support, but just not enough for me. Physical damage 8.2 times with ignore defense 50% to 1 enemy. Decreased defense and spirit 74%. Again, guys, you're seeing a lot of these units that I'm saying, but they have big breaks. So maybe, if you want to break really high up if you don't have another breaker, okay? Decrease resist to all elements 60%. So again, that's a big decrease. All elements, it covers a lot, but most of the time you're only worried about 1 element when you build a team. So really not that great anyway. So overall, Prishe's 7 stars actually not very good in my eyes. I wouldn't even think about making her 7-star if I were you. Next up is Beatrix, and I know a lot of people are excited about Beatrix. She got the hard end of the stick there when her chaining couldn't actually chain with herself. Let's see if that fixes at 7-star. Let's find out. Her STMR is Loyal General, and this is actually incredible. Increase equipment attack 50% when single wielding any weapon, so true double hand 50%. Increase equipment attack 10% when dual wielding, so it also has a little bit of dual wield inside of it as well. And then increase attack 50% when equipped with a greatsword. So this TMR is actually very, usable on either end. You can either get 10% of true dual wield, right? Increase equipment attack 10% when, not true dual, excuse me, just 10% attack. Sorry about that. Increase attack 50% when equipped with a greatsword. So that's 60% if you're dual wielding with a greatsword. So we'll take that and we'll put it in its own category. If you're going to true double hand, you get equipment attack 50%. Then you also get 50% with a greatsword. I think this is incredible on Hio. It's going to be incredible on anybody who wants to use a greatsword when they are true double hand using. Very, very strong STMR in my opinion. I'm definitely I already checked. I think I have 3. I don't know yet. Let me look again. I think I have 3, obviously. That's what's been happening every time I try to get one of these STMRs. I'm like, yeah! Oh, I have 6. I mean, I had like 9 olives, but only have 2 of Beatrix. Dang it. Anyway, moving on down. Sword of the Clear Mind. Available in turn 1, and it's a 2-turn cooldown. Remove all debuffs from herself. Increase her LB gauge by 20. So pop it up to 20, baby. Her LB gauge is going all the way up. How much is her LB gauge? Okay, so not all the way up, but it's going almost all the way up, all right? By 20. That'd be crazy. That should have been all the way up. Looking at this, we have Rose Finale. Light hyper damage 14 times to all enemies. If you've used Sword of the Clear Mind before it, if used after Sword of the Clear Mind, light hyper damage 42 times to 1 enemy, okay? So, she turns into like kind of like a finisher because we couldn't chain with her before. So now throw that all out the door, and now we're just gonna light hybrid damage finish with a huge ass ability here. But remember, it's only going to be 14 times is kind of okay still though, but it's only going to be that big damage one after you get to cast Sword of the Clear Mind, so it's going to be a lot of turns in between each of those big casts. And again, we have a lot of users that don't have to wait like that, so I don't know. But that's a use you guys can find for her. Moving on down, her 7-star passives we get if we have her TMR equipped. Upgrades her LB, increase her attack, magic, and HP 20%. Let's look at that LB here in a minute. Increase magic 20%. Veteran General, increase attack and defense 20%. Increase equipment attack 30% when dual wielding. Increase equipment magic. So if you are going to dual wield with her, now you have the true dual wield for both attack and magic because her big hitting attack is hybrid now. Moving on down, she does get reflect she can cast on people. I haven't found that to be too useful personally in the game through all these years of playing, but I'm sure there are reasons for that to be useful. I mean, I know of them, but I don't use them very often, maybe is a better way to put it. Looking at her limit burst here, physical damage 6.75 times with an ordinance 50%, pretty high, to all enemies. Decrease attack and magic 70%. What is happening? This is this right here. Just all the time. The 74% breaks, man. They're all over the place right now for these units that I don't feel are that great. All enemy breaks. Mitigate damage taken 30% for all allies. So, hey, that LB is actually really strong. So, actually, I don't think Beatrix is terrible, but she's not that useful at the same time. Remember, guys, we have to find spaces in our team, and what is she covering? She's covering somewhat of a light hybrid finisher, which I don't know if that's good enough. And then she also has this break. Right, that's pretty much it. This LB that breaks, does some damage, and mitigates a little bit of damage as well. So overall, again, just not a great unit. It seems like when they have not a great unit, they're like, hey, slap a break at the end of that LB. People will use them, and yeah, you definitely can for that. But it's talking about straight up, should you waste all your all those Cactuar, all that time leveling her up, unless you're in love with her, unless you definitely are going to use her on your team for a while. Again, another one I would skip. And finally, to wrap up all of the 7-star awakenings, we have Eiko. It's a summoner. We just had a summoner. A lot of people were giving me shit for not liking Citra's horn on her head. I'm fine with Eiko's. It looks cute. I mean, it's like in her hair. It's like, looks good. I just don't like Citra's because it looks like someone literally took a unicorn, put glue on it, a unicorn horn, slapped it on her face, and then like, okay, we got to cover that up. That looks really bad, the glue around it. Let's put this little crown on your head. It doesn't look like it belongs. Hers definitely does look like it belongs. So, hey, lay off of my horn hate. Anyway, essence of summoning, increase HP, MP, spirit 15%, increase Evo magic 30%. Another STMR we have here from a summoner that is going to help us do even more Evo damage. Pretty good, but again, very niche to only Evo magic users. So, yeah, the HP, MP, and Spirit aren't going to be good for anybody else, really. They're better out there. But let's look at our 7-star. Harmonics. Revive all allies from KO 100%. So what this says to me is they're just wanting to increase her ability to be kind of like a white mage summon hybrid. Emerald Light. Grant HP barrier 2,000 for 3 turns to one ally. Recover HP 9,999 to one ally. So you're going to be able to heal somebody up pretty high and put an extra 2,000 on top. This is a very big hill. This hill is obviously more so around your tank, possibly your magic tank or your physical tank if it's not evade. Get them back up to full health with a big daddy heal and also slap a 2,000 barrier on top to make sure they can survive a little bit longer. I really like that ability. Prayer of the Lost, 6-turn cooldown, 5-turn, available in turn 1. Remove all debuffs from all allies. Increase evocation gauge 3 to 5. Grant HP barrier 2,000 for all allies. Incredible. Most of the time when you take a summoner in, you're going to be doing whatever prayer ability they have to fill up your gauge anyway. This is an extremely incredible one. Sadly, we have to wait 5 turns after casting it to do it again. But the HP barrier is super strong. Removing all debuffs, don't really. Maybe later in the fight that'll be useful, but because on turn 1 most of the time, unless the preemptive attack, but that's going to be for later in the fight when you cast it again. But on turn 1, that HP barrier on everybody is sweet. Perform apes or apse. I don't even know how to say that word, dude. Whatever, you guys get mad at me if you want. Recover MP 100 to all allies. I said apes and I was like, that's not fucking right. Recover MP 100% to all allies except for caster. Increase evocation gauge 5 to 6. So what has she gotten at 7-star so far? An AoE revive to 100%. She's gotten a barrier and a huge heal, but that's single target. She has a barrier that goes on everybody. She can fill the evocation gauge, get rid of debuffs on everyone. But that is on a cooldown, but it's still very strong. She also has another useful one that gives everybody MP, except for herself. 100 is really good. So she's slowly filling in all of her voids where she wasn't that great and phenomenal. She's filling them in. Moving on down, we have to put her TMR on, and her TMR isn't that great at all. It's that harp. Increased defense, spirit, and HP, MP 20%. Increased Evo magic 60%. Poggers! She's gonna be doing a lot of damage with that Bahamut, dude. Autocast inherited knowledge at the start of battle. We'll look down here at inherited knowledge. Increased resist to stop a charm by 50%. So they didn't give her one or the other 100%. They just said, okay, she has 50% to both. So flip a coin. Hopefully you don't get hit by that. But as long as you have her TMR one, she's gonna have that available to her. She has HP 20%, making her a bit more tanky. Spirit 30%. Increased spirit 50% when equipped with a heart, but that is her TMR, I do believe, and that's what you're gonna want to have on. Yep, Angel's Flute. Moving on down, we have increased LB fill rate by 100%. Her LB is actually really strong. Recovery MP 10% per turn. 10%, nice. Let's look at what, she didn't get any more magic at 7-star, sadly. I was hoping for something there, but there wasn't. Let's look at the 7-star increased LB. Heal 2,500 HP 24 times all allies. It is a big heal. It costs 26 LB crystals, but she has a lot of ways to get that up now if you look through her kit. Remove attack, defense, magic, and spirit brace from all allies, which is good, and then increase the evocation gauge from 9 to 10. So overall, I think that she's very decent. If you're looking to have somebody who's a decent summoner who also has the ability to heal a lot. So she could take the role of a white mage. She's mostly healing through her, like for big time, through her Emerald Light or through her LB. But at the same time, now she has MP regen while building up the Esper gauge. She has the ability to grant barriers on people. I'm not saying she's super out of this world stellar, but I do believe she's definitely worth doing if you are missing this, if you want to have a summoner. I think she's better than Citra. I personally do. I would rather be using Eiko instead of Citra for sure. And then we'll have to wait for the Yunas and the other 7-star summoners of the world to come out and see what they do. But overall, she's okay, and I could definitely see myself using her if I needed that in my life. So yeah, so that concludes the batch this time, guys. I'm so happy we got it early, so you guys can be excited about that. We got the maintenance was over early. We got new arena rewards coming out later on down the road. We did get 2, this is the only time I'm going to really talk about it on video. We did get 2 more banners with all these 7-stars on it. They're step-ups if you're missing them. If you're missing the 4th one for the STMR, you're guaranteed one of them if you pull a rainbow, and they're also step-up, you know, rewards as you go up through it. So hey, they're going to come with every banner, it seems like, so it's going to give you guys a chance to obtain them. I can't wait for the cloud one to come out. Really excited. I missed that on Ayaka because I already thought I had 4, but hey, you do what you got to do. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you guys feel about all these awakenings and who you're looking forward to maybe in the next 7-star batch, and subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.